Welcome to Miles in Conversation, and today's guest is Aakhu from Better Marketing Mastery. And Ankh, how did you get into Better Marketing Mastery?
I'm trained in what's called guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing is a system that was specifically a marketing system that was specifically designed for small businesses. So what guerrilla marketing essentially says is that with ingenuity, with more creativity, with more specialized knowledge, with a little bit more focus on time, we don't have to use as much money to market ourselves. Marketing becomes a science once you track and test what you're doing. What does a customer cost? And I promise you, if you don't know what it costs you to get a customer, you can't really do much in marketing, and you're not going to do much in marketing, right? Until you even get to that level. Successful marketing is counterintuitive to the way that the average business person thinks. The goal of entrepreneurship is actually to not be in the business, but to be outside of the business, free of the business. So the business in itself, in its ideal state, is actually kind of a liberation device. It frees you up from your need to participate in the society in a work-related way. So most wealthy people don't necessarily work for money. And so as an entrepreneur, if you learn how to build successful systems, you don't necessarily have to work for money. But because we have been socialized to work for money, our whole orientation, by and large, puts us at odds with the orientation that we need to be successful. Because then most entrepreneurs essentially are more solopreneurs, more do-it-yourselfers, and they're so committed to getting it all done themselves, they don't realize that the whole name of the game is to figure out how to not do it yourself. And that's very complex to really work yourself around psychologically and so on, especially if you are, for instance, if you're a plumber and somebody says, well, if you're going to build a plumbing business, don't be the plumber, that is like a disconnect at that point, right? So how do you really come up with a business model that is informed by that type of orientation? It is the question for many people who are starting a business.
I understand that you've actually got a free webinar taking place, and it's called Speed Monetization.
Yes.
Who should come on that course, and basically what will they learn?
Marketing is more like farming in terms of like planting a seed, and then, time goes by, you continue to nurture and you continue to nurture and you continue to nurture. And then one day a tree grows up, and then the next year it comes around again, and then it finally bears fruit. And so what happens is most people who get into business, many people who get into business have immediate needs. And so they don't really have the luxury of having, 5 years of funding and all that to kind of sit and build to build the infrastructure of the company, the system of the company that we're talking about, the marketing system out and all that. They don't have that luxury. And so they need to kind of build incrementally as they go. Speed monetization is for those types of people who are looking more for immediate needs and getting, kind of a rush of cash, a rush of revenue, a rush of profits into the company as soon as possible, so that you can begin to prop up the company so it becomes stabilized in terms of its revenue. And once you become stable in terms of revenue, then you're in a much better position to kind of plan for the future. So get your target market right is a big thing, because if you can nail that, right, what we call a hot target market. And a hot target market are those people that are passionate about what it is that you're doing. Typically, what we want to do in marketing is we want to make selling superfluous, right? If it's something that one was interested in already, then the selling process becomes a lot easier. Because if you want it, then it's just negotiation in terms of what has to happen for you to get it. And if that works well, then it's a lot easier. So I would say get your target marketing right, get your messaging right, and that means your offer, right? And you want your offer to be compelling. Determine what it is that you need to offer the world. And I would say focus on some key offers first. In other words, if you have a store and you have 17 different products in your store and 35 different things and all that stuff, focus on which ones are the most profitable potentially for you, right? Which one could kind of drive the business, and do something special around those offerings. The last thing is, what's our marketing budget? And for us, we would say that a marketing budget would be, in guerrilla marketing, about 5% of what you intend to earn. right? So if you sit down with a marketing consultant and say, I want to earn $1 million, then you need to profit 50,000 to get started. So generally, in general business, in the Small Business Association here in America, it is determined that the average business spends about 11% of its revenue on marketing.
Okay.
Right. So about 11%. In guerrilla marketing, we say we can cut that in half.
Speed monetization, webinars, 8 p.m. UK time.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
everybody who basically is either in business or, as we discussed earlier, if you're in the startup phase,
Yes.
there's also something of value for you too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important for entrepreneurs to really master monetization, understand the science of how it works, the philosophy of how it works. And if you can get clear on how it works, so we're going to talk about kind of the pillars of monetization itself. What makes monetization what it is? What is it that allows us to make money? What's happening when the exchange is happening between two people? What really is driving that? You asked the question, what is behind marketing? And there's a word that we really haven't mentioned today. That's called value.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a kind of an abstraction, but it's the most important word in business, right? If you understand how to play the value game, then you understand how to play the monetization game. And if you don't understand what I just said, then you need to check us out at the Speed Monetization webinar, because you're going to walk away from that very clear on what the value game is.
That's fantastic. Well, this has been Miles in conversation with Aakhu from Better Marketing Mastery. And what you've heard today is of interest to you. Well, then we'll catch you on the Speed Monetization free webinar. And it's free 1-hour webinar. And come along and check us out and hear what the master has to say on that subject. Ankh, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye now.